Alright, welcome back to another video by Gamer J. This video is going to be our first, well, it's not our first draft, it's going to be our second draft. The plan right now is to make our matches separate videos. I acknowledge that I'm a bit slow with my picking and deck building right now, so our goal is to get the picks and the deck building done within about 40 minutes. If I can do it faster, great. But I just acknowledge that I'm not the fastest at this, as I am new to Magic 2020 and still, on my newer legs for Arena. Dual land. Is this a dual land? Field of that enters battlefield when another land enters the battlefield under your control. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, so that seems really not very good. At least right now. Gravedigger enters the battlefield. You may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That seems pretty useful. Of course, Chandra Pyromancer is pretty good. Goblin Ringleader. Reveal the top 4 cards here with Goblin cards, so it's kind of committing to Goblin. So maybe I'm looking for a common or Chandra or Gravedigger. Well, just because I am new and I'm looking to also expand my my collection a bit, I think that Chandra gets me for what I want for red a bit more. She leans towards elementals, right? So we might be looking towards elemental as we build forward. Yarok's Wave Crasher, 4/4 for 4, enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Well, that seems to not be so amazing. I can see circumstances. There's Shock, which I think is really getting my attention right now. Nothing too much to bring me towards a different color. 7 for a 5/5 that deals damage to a player. Each player discards their hand, so that does. Alright. I am leaning towards Shock. What else is amazing here? Murder's pretty great, right? Bone to Ash. Maybe I grab the Murder over the Shock. I feel like grabbing the Murder over the Shock right now. Put target creature power 4 or greater on the bottom of its owner's library. Okay. Choose a card name, reveal top card if it's that. Sacrifice and draw 3 cards. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery, so it's a fair amount of mana to start guessing at getting some card draw. I can see that being a late pick. Well, we've got a couple of elementals to be able to pick from here, and a red-black land. But we're definitely going to grab one of these elementals. I think Lavican Brawler is kind of the obvious pick. I'm starting to learn things well enough here. Whenever it attacks, it's +1/+0 until end turn for each elemental you control. So we are really starting to lean towards elementals, which means that Murder might have been a bad choice for us. Chandra Spitfire, in this format could be great. Any other elementals for us? Sanitarium Skeleton is probably worth grabbing. Even if we're not actually going to go, we're not committed to elementals yet, right? We're only 3 picks in. I think the Spitfires will come back around. I'm just going to grab the skeletons because I like them. Powder Matcher, also something pretty worthwhile. Said Scorpion. We don't have any ways of gaining life right now, so Epicure's not really the choice. Having Powder Matcher, as one of my first picks, I can really start to focus on grabbing some cool commons. We're just going to grab the Powder Matcher. There's another one. I don't know that we want to do 2 Powder Matchers. There's a couple of good elementals here to grab from. I've grabbed a bit of black, a bit of red. I think I'm going to grab a bit of green, because red-green elemental is, probably the best way to go. And, other elementals you control have trample. That's pretty good. Fire elemental, not so great, as okay. Will get better if I have more elementals as a theme. Fighter's Box came back around. Alright, nothing that I'm in love with here. Another creature with power 2 or less becomes unblockable this turn. Haste 2/2, I do like it. I also like the growth cycle. And I like Mammoth Spider as well, having the reach. I think it's between the growth cycle and the Goblin Smuggler for me right now. I'm gonna go for the growth cycle. I see them often enough where we might be able to get a few of them. I really like the Cutthroat. I feel like I'm still not committed yet, which I feel like I'm all over the place right now. With a leaning towards elementals, but I also got some decent black. I do like Blade Brand, but not over a creature. So the Cutthroat is my favorite there. Prismite could be good since I'm still relatively undecided on where I'm going, but I'm going to go with the Cutthroat. I keep on wanting to get a bunch of denizens in limited, and just have a quirky mill deck, but we're not leaning in that direction at all. Marauder's Axe, not so great for mana efficiency, but yeah, maybe. Destroy target land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. That could be useful, particularly in limited if someone's stuck with one of their off color. That could be, it could swing things in your favor for a couple of turns. And of course, creatures without flying can't block. Could be an alpha turn. So, not loving anything else here. We're probably not going to get any great picks, so we're just going to make these last picks pretty quick. We grab. Well, we have a pink blue one anyway. Alright, so none of this helps us. Oh, I can start moving things to side. I forgot you can do that as you go. That helps with deck building, right? Alright, so I want to, well, I guess I didn't have the swamp down there, but I do want to clean some of that up as I go, just to make deck building a bit faster. Things that I know I'm not going to use, right? Alright, Cavalier. Cavaliers are good cards. From my understanding, red's not the best of the Cavaliers, but is probably going to be the auto pick here. Creatures you control get +1/+0, and gain haste until end of turn. Just a little bit of pump. Cavalier Red Flames enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards and draw that many. And then when Cavalier dies, deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. So yeah, I can see why that's not amazing. It's not a flyer. It's 6/5. I might not even make that my auto pick because I'm not leaning heavily in red. Return up to 3 target creatures to their owner's hands. Looks pretty powerful, but again, it's blue off color for us. Well, nothing else lends itself to me in an expert opinion towards being my obvious pick here. Beyond another murder, which I'm sure is not going to make its way back to me. But so we will grab the Cavalier and have it. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card. That's a 3-drop 7/6 rare. It is on color. it's, well, it's on one of our colors, leaning away from elementals at that point, but that's okay. A 7/6 on 3 is pretty good. And the upkeep, I'm not sure, it's not, yeah, it's discard a card, it's not, or creatures destroyed. I don't know if that became a thing in Magic the Gathering, where if you couldn't pay the upkeep, it automatically destroyed. This might be worth moving into blue for, just because it's a really powerful card in the format. But I don't think so. I think we've got some decent picks towards what we were already headed at. Got a Lobkin Brawler, Leafkin Druid, adds mana if you control more creatures, it adds more mana. I think the Leafkin is our pick here. And I still feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but still leaning towards elementals with some potential black. No, I'm not blue. My mind goes to Boreal Elemental as a good card. I know it's not the best pick for even people that are running blue, but it is where I went first. There's another Elemental. It's a bit of a bomb. I might need to do that. Just because bombs, right? And there's no good removal here, at least not for where I'm at. 2/2 flash. Blocks a creature with flying, gets +2/+0. So, and that looks like it's a pretty good card. I don't know. I think it's between the Netcaster and the Boar's Claw for me. I know Boar's Claw doesn't tend to get picked. So we're gonna grab the Netcaster and maybe hope that the Boar's Claw comes back around to us. We got more Pattern Matchers. Did I get 2 of those? I have 1 Pattern Matcher, and so far I haven't really picked up a lot of copies of anything to my own mistakes, I guess. Well, I don't see any copies here. Rapacious Dragon could be good, non-elemental. So I don't see anything that leans me. No, we'll get to Paradise. I'm sorry. There's enchant land, gives you 3 life, and then adds any color. And since I'm leaning right now, I've got 3 colors that I'm working with. Could be a mana fixer to really be able to get use out of the best cards that I get from each of those colors. When Undead Servant enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card named Undead Servant in your graveyard. So I might want to get Undead Servants along with Pattern Matcher going. Well, I guess Pattern Matcher gets them if they're in my control, right? So, does it put it in my hand? Yes, puts it in my hand, so I can just hold on to an Undead Servant until my first Undead Servant died. I do like the Sentinel, the 2/2 Vigilant. Not a whole lot of flying going on for me. I think it's between the Servant and the Sentinel, and between the two, well, there's some decent crafting mechanics with the Undead Servant, so I'm going to try and get multiples of that, I think. Draw a card. If an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn, spells you control can't be countered this turn. Okay. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. Nothing too exciting to me there. Duress, not so great when I want to get rid of creatures, right? So I think it's there's not really much of a choice here. 3/3 for 3 I think is my best pick, honestly. Season of Growth stands out. Feral Abomination is one that I like, although I know it's not one that stands out. Blade Brand I like. And then Natural End. There's Artifact or Enchantment. There's not a lot of Artifact enchantment removal. Well, I feel like actually there's a fair amount of Artifact and enchantment removal in the set. I think I want a couple of those, honestly, but I think Season of Growth is my better pick right now. Do I want 2 of those though? Do I have one of those? But I had so. I guess I probably should have taken that, right? I didn't already have one. Jeez. Alright, well, we're off to a horrible start, I feel like. And we're most of the way through pack 2. Grissom Scourger enters the battlefield and deals damage to target opponent or planeswalker equal to the number of creatures you control. So that's for going wide. I haven't built for that at all, at least not yet. Sanitarium Skeleton, as when it comes back from the graveyard. I did grab one earlier. I think we can grab another one. Sure, no problem. In case we do get a season of growth. Steel Overseer on each artifact creature you control. Well, that could be good. Not the direction I thought I'd be going. I'm not heavily leaned for any color, so Diamond Knight's probably not the best choice for me here. Blight Beetle, protection from green. Creatures your opponent control can't have +1/+1 counters put on them. I don't know if that's that useful in our format. Gorging Vulture and Sorcerer of the Fang, I think are the ones that we're looking at. When he enters the battlefield, the top 4 cards of your library in your graveyard gain life for each creature, and then that works potentially well with the Sanitarium Skeletons. The Sorcerer of the Fang deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Just tapped due to late game potential damage. It is a flyer. I don't have any flyers really. If nothing else, I could maybe use it for blocking. Leyline is probably not something I'm going to grab here. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it. Doesn't seem that important to me. The War Chief, however, when you lose life for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on War Chief. Here's another Toonbound Lynch. It makes me wonder if I should have just gone heavy black-blue instead of even considering elementals. Gosh. Alright. Mastiff can be decent. Rabid Bite is probably my removal, right, with green. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. Yeah, I'm going to go with the removal card. Alright. An 8/8 flyer for 8 heavy black. Pay 2 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. That doesn't seem that great to me. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. Oh, well, it's card draw. I like it, and at this point I might just be grabbing it for a rare draft and just do some wonky crap with my deck, not feeling great about it, into pack 3. Well, there's another Undead Servant, and so I think I have to grab that. Wolf Rider Saddle, I think I'll be grabbing that. There is a Sedge Scorpion that I like, and another Thicket Crasher. We're going to grab the saddle, so we can go a little bit wide, and potentially move the saddle around. I think it's between the Netcaster and the Sorcerer of the Fang. Maybe even Plummet. The Plummet might come back around to me. I'm going to hope the Plummet comes back around to me as I lean towards the Netcaster a bit. Yeah, let's grab Netcaster. Fathom Cutthroat, Gift of Paradise, Greenwood Sentinel. Do I have one Gift of Paradise? Yes, I'm going to grab a second Gift of Paradise. And we're going to get another Undead Servant. And I think we're going to grab the Cutthroat. And I think we're going to need more black here as our last picks come up. You know, the Boar's Claw looks really tempting, but right, well, we did kind of want that. And the Plummet, or a Plummet, came back around. All right, well, we've got our draft done. Now it's time to make a deck, and I don't feel too amazing about where we're at. How does this look right now? We got some white over here to get rid of. All right, we are red, green, black, and we need to cut one of these colors, I feel like. So which, we have the fewest red, actually. It's where we started, but it's what we end up with the fewest of. I think it maybe kind of goes that way sometimes. Let's just see what happens when we get rid of all of our red. Just double click again. Alright, it auto corrects the land curve. That's sitting at 17. I think I'm going to go for 16 land. Didn't really want that. The Raptor, let's try and pull that back for just a second. It costs 4 for a 2/1 flying first ring. I just don't like its efficiency, even if it is. I don't see the. All right, the Pattern Matcher I think I do want, right? Because we did end up getting 3 Undead Servants. We got 2 Fathom, 2 Barony. We got 2 Netcasters and 2 Cemeteries. Like, so I feel like Pattern Matcher's gonna do okay for us. Now I want to be able to see my removal, right? So I kind of put it in a stack over here. Plummet is probably a sideboard deck, right? Although this is best of 1, so maybe not. Wolf Rider Saddle needs to be down here somewhere. So let me grab that Plummet back, just because. And I think a Crasher. What else is up here that I don't want to rule out automatically here? Nothing. Okay, so this is not removable. We only have 1 growth cycle though, and I don't think we have anything that works off of sorceries, right? I'm not a big fan of Mind Rot. And I like it. I am a big fan of it overall, but not for the format. Do I need 2 natural and artifact or enchantment? I feel like both are going to come up. Alright, so we're out to get rid of one of those. I think we still get rid of the Plummet. How are we doing on our curve, right? 3. We have a lot of 3 drops, which I'm pretty okay with. We don't have any bombs. That's a problem. We have 1 murder. We do have a couple of cutthroats. We don't have any ping damage aside from Sorcerer of the Fang. That doesn't ping my opponent's creatures. This gives me +3/+3 until end of turn. You know, it's a giant growth that costs 1 more as it stands for me, which could be very useful, but we're just gonna toss it for now. Rapid Bite isn't really going to be very amazing for us, considering we have nothing that's got any size to it. Going wide is kind of our only option here. We need the Thicket Crasher because it's our biggest creature, which is horrible. I really should have grabbed a couple of those 7/7s. Boy, we're just going to be kind of janky is what we're going to be. We're going to drop a swamp. Yeah, we're pretty even here. And we've got one double black and nothing else that's double anything. Yeah, maybe we do put red back in here. But we don't have any bombs there either, right? We've got the Cavalier and we've got the Dragon Mage. We got no bombs. Feeling pretty upset about this actually, and like maybe rushing through in draft for sake of a video and time was not the best choice for me. But you know what? Or it's a learning experience. All of this is a learning experience for me, and you know, I just want to live by my grandmother's rules. Wise man learns from his mistakes. Wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. So be that wiser man and learn from my mistakes. It's really the main reason, motivator for me to make videos, is so someone can learn from my mistakes and, you know, hopefully some successes along the way too. I am pretty happy with the with my mono blue deck for Constructed that I've been able to make, partially because of my last draft where I got some really good cards for blue. Not so much here for anything a little bit, you know, I like the Chandra and maybe the Cavalier for red. So the Sanitarium Skeletons I think are going to put in work for me. You know, I just don't have the, you know, the Murder's the only thing I have, you know, along with the Fathom Fleet Cutthroats for big removal. I've got to hold on to that Rapid Bite anyway, just because it is some kind of removal. We have 2 cards to cut. I think we keep the Plummet, and we definitely keep the Natural End, because it could be an artifact creature that we get rid of, although they don't tend to be too amazing, I guess. We've got Undead Servants, but we got multiples of those. So what's this Centaur? So 3/3. We've got our 7/6. So we do, yeah, we have the 1 bomb, and it's a 3-drop. So I guess that's good. Gorging Vulture might not be the way to go here. It is a flyer, and it could get some Sanitarium Skeletons into our graveyard. Go down to 1 Gift of Paradise because I don't feel like we really need the mana fixing the way that we ended up going. So that gets us to our 40. Anything here that I feel like I'm going to regret not having? I don't feel like that there is anything up here that I'm going to regret not having. You know, the Chandra Novice Pyromancer was the biggest thing that I, you know, kind of regret not having, followed by the Cavalier. And maybe the Dragon Mage, but not really so much, just because he's a 5/5 flyer. Let's just take a quick look at our elementals and see if it's worth spending some time on that. If it is, I'm gonna maybe cut the video and work on it from there. But so we've got 1 elemental there. Black, I don't think has any elementals. So a 2nd elemental. So we have 2 elementals in our deck right now. There are one elemental knight, two more elementals. So it's not worth looking in the direction of elementals, just to try and get a little bit more out of Chandra. It just didn't work out for us. Man. Alright, this is going to be our deck, and I think we're okay on time. We're going to try and go with one game, just to get a feel for it, and then we'll leave off from there into another recording later on. Alright, well, we've got nothing that we can play. I am going first, so I think we mulligan on this one, even though we've got one of each color land. Alright, so that does better for a land. We're going to keep this, and we're going to put the Undead Servant at the bottom, because we know we've got multiple copies of it. And we have a powder matcher, so we might be able to get it out later on. I mean, I guess that's kind of the backwards way of going, but I prefer to hold on to the cutthroat, and we have to hold on to the druid. I think we had another Baron Vampire, so that could be used for the Powder Matcher as well. Well, maybe not, because we just drew it. So we'll play it. So it's dealt damage this turn, so I have to be on the attack to make any use out of that. Ooh, not enough cards in hand for me to want to do that with. So I think we go on the attack. And see what happens from there. Vigilance, so it's going to be pinging me for one a turn. They're going to put the bow on it. Hold on to our cutthroat and our powder matcher for now. Bet on a Leafkin Druid, the powder matcher I probably would have dropped it. I am doing not very good on my lands right now. The Heart Piercer. They did not equip the Heart Piercer. They can bring that Sanitarium Skeleton back at this point, so we might as well block with it. Alright, they didn't. So bring the Cutthroat in right now. Doesn't do anything amazing for me other than it gives me a target for my powder matcher, right? Should know what this clocksmith. All right, so I feel like I want to wait and drop him last. So yeah, we're just gonna get the creature out there, and then we'll get another one put in our hand later. Right now they can just chump block my Rotting Regisaur, and it doesn't do anything for me other than get rid of my cards. And I don't know if I get to keep it later or not. Oh, my powder matcher. Oh, man. I still might be dropping my powder matcher now just to have a 3-3 out there. I don't have anything with really high curve, so maybe I drop the Rotting Regisaur and discard my Forest to it. But I feel like putting out one more Forest is better. I don't think that I had a third Barony Vampire, which is a little upsetting to me. There's probably a quick way for me to look at that somewhere, but I don't know what it is. So, they're down to one card. If I play Powder Matcher now, right, the benefit is I can probably play Rotting Regisaur next turn. I'm gonna hold off on it since we have a minor field advantage. Alright. We can't just keep on holding off on playing, so we're going to attack with our Vampire, and then we're going to drop the Powder Matcher. Nothing to match. Right. We'll drop our Forest, and I guess that's it, right? Oh, because it can't make any color, it only makes green. So I guess I could have mathed that out and made it so I still had a Swamp left untapped, and then I could have played the Rotting Regisaur on the same turn. So no matter what he pings right now. 2-3 flying, enters battlefield, Earthing Protector. Okay, it's +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh god, I'm just making him bigger with this. Oh, that's a pretty good combo, right? Centurion Skeleton with the Griffin Protector. I am losing the race now because of that. Well, like I said, I didn't feel great about this before, and I still don't feel great about it now. So I'm taking 4 a turn, I'm doing 3 a turn. just about anything in terms of mana. Yeah, if I had some of those 7/7s, I'd be feeling a lot better right now about this. If they're able to start dropping more creatures in a round, then that Griffin's going to get bigger and start doing more to me. Now, I'm doing more than they are. That's it. Yeah, I'm going to be doing 3 damage then. Rabid Bite is going to win this for me. The question is, do I drop the Griffin or do I drop the Sanitarium Skull? I think I dropped the Griffin, right? And then I attack with these 2. That's game. Pulled it off somehow. Don't want to give them another turn, even if I could do that on their turn. Just want to get that done and over with. They might have something that they didn't have the mana for, instant spell. I have no idea what they could have possibly had to have been able to not do it on their turn, but we did it on ours. All right, well, not a bad way to end the video for a draft that I didn't feel very good about. So appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'm Gamer Jay, and I hope you have a wonderful day.